we're here today with this week's Blackpool Fan of the Week, and that is Jonathan Barnwell. Jonathan, just the first question I want to ask you is, what have you made of Blackpool Football Club this season?
Hi Connor. Basically, we've done a lot better than I thought we were going to do. I mean, we've had a tough couple of seasons. I mean, the past 2 seasons, what with money crisis, losing players and stuff. But we've done a lot better than we expected to. We've reached playoff places this year. The team's looking good. The chemistry's there. So I think there's a good chance that we could make it. I think we could crawl ourselves back to the glory days when we were in the Premier League and battling it out over there.
Also, another question. I was just wanting your opinion on Blackpool manager Gary Bowyer. What do you make of his first full season in charge of the club?
I've got to say he's done really well. I mean, he came from Blackburn. He, obviously had a bit of a torrid time over there. Struggled a bit, but I mean, he's come to Blackpool and he's really steadied the ship for the team. He's brought like I mentioned before, he brought a whole new chemistry to the squad. He's made a big impact on the team. I would really put my faith in him. If I was the owners right now, I'd be putting my faith in him, saying, do you know what? Look, this guy could steer us back into the big time again. Like I said, we've got the playoffs coming up. Hopefully, we succeed in that. And I think Gary will. I have every faith in Gary to steer the team in the right direction myself, to be honest.
Obviously, if we get back into League One this season, we're going to need to make some good investments in the squad. I've been asking this to a lot of fans recently for their own personal opinions, but what investments would you make in our squad? What players would you sign for each position? Is there any position in particular you think we really need to strengthen in, for example?
To be honest, Connor, in terms of Blackpool squad, I think we've got quite a solid squad. I can't think of any major roles that would need changing at the moment. I think one thing that we may need is an out-and-out goal scorer. Going into League One, we're going to be up against a much more solid defence. It's a new challenge. So I was going to go. If I was looking for anyone, I rate that Ricky Holmes from Charlton. I think he's a decent goal scorer. He's got 12 goals in League One. And he would probably be well within our budget. I mean, you don't want to be, splashing out the cash. I just think we just need just someone who's just going to bag a few goals in for us, and kind of lift the team going into the new season, possibly going into the new league if we get the playoffs. So yeah, if altogether, I think we've got a solid squad, but I think goal scorer could really have a good impact.
And obviously, these past few seasons, I mean, there's not going to be many Blackpool fans out there who are going to say they've been satisfied over the past few seasons. Obviously, we've come down from the Championship, and now we're in League Two. Quite frankly, what do you make of Blackpool over the past few years, and how would you approach sorting out the mess that the club is perceived to be in?
Well, I'd say first things first. The big issue for the club is probably the owner. I mean, Oyston, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't want to put everything on him, but, he's done no favours for the club. I think, if he was to swallow his pride and eventually sell this club to someone who would be much more dedicated and have much more of an influence to the team itself, I think we could go back to challenging for the Championship, maybe even the Premier League again, like we once were a few years ago. So, for me, the major issue and the standout point, which is stood there right in front of us all, is the owner. The owner just needs to. Oyston really needs to just sell the club.
Well, thanks for that, Johnny. It's always nice to get the thoughts and opinions of Blackpool fans. Here we listen to all opinions at the Fans Lounge. You are this week's competition winner, and you have won your free flag.
Thanks. Nice one.
Join us again next week when we will be joined by more Blackpool fans giving their opinions. Thank you very much. See you next week.